finally, episode 1 of the Insight podcast, a Qatar based podcast meant for providing insights, as the name suggests, to students.
I'm so sleepy right now, even though it's 8 p.m.
I swear, you're not going to sleep right now. We have an episode to shoot. What we have in store for our listeners today is a man who is the epitome of being able to balance things. He's a part of the under 16 Qatar national cricket team, but I personally know him from the inter-house cricket tournaments we have played at school.
Oh, that game. In the finals of the inter-house tournament, with one leg, bro pulled off the greatest school cricket innings and a chase that even Virat Kohli would be proud of. An innings just like Glenn Maxwell, a day later, well, with 82 runs needed and 48 balls, he gave a show for all the people watching.
Oh yeah, I remember that match. It was so hype. Now, inviting the man himself, Sukrit Mitra, to the Insight podcast. So Sukrit, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you all doing? I hope
We're doing fine as well. How did your day look like today?
Good enough. Actually, better than what I had expected.
How does a typical day in your life look like? So like a day of school, and give me a perspective of a day of practice for you, or a match day.
First, I'll start with a typical, normal day in my life. My day starts around like 5:30ish. After I wake up for school. School goes on till 3 o'clock, and then I come back home. I take a bit of rest, and then if I have academy practice, I leave for academy, and then like about from 5:36 till almost 9. Then again I come back home, have dinner, and then again study for a while. That's a typical practice day. But otherwise, when it's a match day, it's again a different thing, because after coming from school, it's like I try to do a bit of visualization, which helps in playing well, and then rest is the same.
What's your thoughts on nerves before the match?
I think as an athlete, it is quite common to be nervous before any match. But again, there are like many ways in which you can control, because the more nervous you become, there are high chances of you failing or not being able to play according to potential. I guess one of my method is maybe listening to those instrumental kind of musics, which makes me calm and which prevents me from overthinking. I guess that is quite useful.
Oh, okay.
Well, so first off, Sukrit, for how long I have known you, you have constantly been scoring 90 plus grades from middle school till even now, as we speak. You have consistently been performing well academically as well, and this hasn't changed even with you playing cricket, going this far. So as you know, the typical worry of a high school student is usually what students fear is that they won't be able to maintain a balance between their extracurriculars and their academic life. What is your take on this, and based on your experience, how difficult has it been to manage cricket with academics?
I mean, obviously balancing extracurricular activities and studies is not an easy job, because
Right.
it's like you need to spend your energy for studies at the same time for extracurricular activities, and again balancing both of them, and if you want to excel in both of them, it is tough. But again, you need to realize what you need to do well, like having a proper time management and following it. After making a schedule proper schedule, you need to stay disciplined and follow it, because again, yes, there'll be days where you end up procrastinating and all that. It's fine, you need to accept it.
Right.
But then
Yeah.
again, you need to go back and then follow your schedule. Like, okay, at this time I'm going to do my studies, at this time I'm going to do my extracurricular activities. And from my point of view, I found it difficult at the starting. But then again, you need to accept the fact, because if you want to do any extracurricular activity, it has to come from within you. It is not like people cannot force you to do something.
Right.
It should be within you
that's
that
so
I
correct.
need to do at this time. I guess, yeah, that's the important thing, maintaining the balance between them and prioritizing your work at a given situation.
As you said that it was difficult for you as well, because I mean you started properly going to the academy and playing cricket, I think at the age of 11 or 12. Since then, did you have this pressure on your mind that if what if if as I keep on performing better, and what if I don't perform that well in my school life, what if this could impact my academics as well? So were you scared at the start, or did you never have you never had this
Uh,
thought?
to be honest, when I started playing cricket, I guess, yeah, I was 12. Maybe I was in fifth grade, if I'm not wrong. I guess till fifth to eighth, it was quite comfortable. I guess the main problem started when you enter high school. Like ninth grade is when the pressure starts building. Fifth to eighth, it was like
Hmm.
basically enjoying cricket and not keeping the pressure of performing. But then,
Hmm.
like, I became more and more serious when I entered ninth grade. That time there was study pressure, at the same time focusing on cricket. uh, but again, as I said, it was important to maintain the balance, because if you can't maintain the balance, you won't, it's going to be like maybe you'll be doing well in one field, but you won't be able to do well in the other field. But and again, you cannot keep thinking that there is pressure or something, because if you keep thinking about it, there'll be a larger burden on you. I guess it's,
Right.
instead of wasting time, that I have burden or stress or something, you need to accept the fact, because, like, from my point of view, it was like cricket was something which came from within me, and
Oh,
even
okay.
I was good in academics since childhood. So
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that's why it was something which I realized the fact that there's no point of thinking of so much pressure and everything. You need to just maintain the balance which people keep talking about. That is the most important thing.
Oh, okay. Our next question is from one of our followers on Instagram. So they've asked that, so throughout your journey, I'm sure that you must have had times where your self-esteem was an extreme low and you were demotivated, thinking maybe I should give up or something related or closely related to that. So what has kept you going throughout your journey till now?
Uh, yeah, I there have been times, I guess, yeah, my lean period in cricket came in 2021 September, when uh, I was not able to play well for almost 6 to 7 months. But again, it was cricket is something which I've always loved since childhood, and I want to keep doing better and better. So I guess that motivation to do better and better is what keeps pushing me. Now again, people will end up having bad times and good times, but again, you need to learn things from the bad time, accept it rather than giving up. There's no point of giving up in the midway. Rather, I
Very
guess
well said. Very
it
well.
is more important that, you know you learn the things which is coming in your bad times, because the bad times is something which will teach you more than the good times.
What has the bad times taught you till now?
uh, for me, bad times was, one is, again, as I said, being grateful that you have been able to play. Now again, this I'm grateful to this bad time, because I realize what mistakes is going on. And another thing which has helped me is, like, it has taught me how to face when you have a difficult situation. I guess that is something important, if you learn how to face a bad situation at a young age, because that is also quite helpful when you do anything in the future. I guess these two things are the most important life
Right.
lessons.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. So Krit, again, as you said that you started, playing cricket at a very young age, and I think you joined academy as well. Again, as you said, at the age of 12 or 11. Throughout this, obviously, you've had real good coaches, who have been who have been qualified by ICC. And before, when we just have talks as well, you mentioned that how uh, good, and how they have motivated you throughout your journey. But so you there also must have been times where the coach wasn't pleased with with your performance, when, as you said, when you were going through like a lean patch.
Yeah.
So there was another question, our followers asked, and this was actually quite interesting. Was that, what is the worst or the most provocative thing a coach has said to you, regarding your performance? You weren't batting well, or just in general, and how did it
I
impact you?
guess, to
Yes.
be honest, as you said, my coaches have been quite supportive. I guess in my lean period of those 6 7 months, I guess they are the ones who have helped me the most in the cricket point of view. I guess if they wouldn't have been there,
Hmm.
maybe I wouldn't have made this far. But I don't think so. Any of my coaches have said something provoking or rude. uh, they have been kind, but I guess, yeah, they have just kept telling me that in a rude way. Like, I remember being in a situation where I kept making the same mistake in a practice session, and yeah, I
Hmm.
was just made to, they told me that I won't be able to do anything if I keep playing like this. I guess that is one thing which made me realize that cricket is not going to work if you are going to do the same mistake again and again. We know the fact that cricket is quite competitive.
Absolutely.
Even in Qatar, it's quite competitive. So yeah, I guess that is one thing which pushed me. Otherwise, there have been few coaches who have kept telling, who have motivated me that by telling that I am good enough to show my potential. But again, if I don't do well, it's not going to work. You have to show 100% potential. I guess, yeah, these two incidents is what kind of helped me. But
Absolutely.
I don't think so there has been any provoking incident which has, made me feel bad about it or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Because if the coaches aren't the ones who are going to push you, to make you really work on your game, then who else will? Absolutely. You've explained it in a brilliant way.
I would like to thank our followers for sending all of these questions. And if our listeners want to interact and like ask questions that we would ask to our guests on the podcast, please follow our Instagram page, a straightforward insight. The links will be in the description. The next question for Sukhrit is, how is the level of cricket among the Gulf countries, especially since a few months back you were in the UAE playing for the Qatar national team? How was the experience and level of competition there?
Uh, First of all, I guess the tour was something which gave us a true picture of what we are at an international level. To be honest, yeah,
Hmm.
Qatar is in a good stage, but to be honest, I will say among the Gulf countries, the leading nations which is quite ahead of us is UAE and Oman. I guess even not only at the under 16 level, but in other high levels in international cricket, also we have seen UAE and Oman have been doing pretty well. Now, again, coming back to my experience, I guess, it was a good opportunity to, understand the fact that what I need to do and what is going wrong. That gives a true picture of everyone. But then again, it gave me a new experience of, staying away with my parents. I guess that was the first time I stayed away from my parents. And, with that, you get lots of your self skills which you can develop. And
Absolutely.
from cricket experience
Nope.
view, I guess that was the first international tournament I've played. And
Wow.
again, it taught me many, things, especially the mental aspect of the game, which is quite underrated. Like, to be honest, in every sport, it's like 80, when you're playing a match, about 80% of your mental skill is more important, and you use the 80% of the mental ability compared to your physical ability. I guess that was one thing which was missing in my game, and that taught me a lot.
Wow, that was very well said.
Uh, so Krit, one question which again I actually had this in mind because I never really asked you this was that growing up was cricket the only sport which felt interesting because for me growing up I enjoyed football, watching football. My uncle really liked basketball as well, and obviously cricket. So in every Indian household, cricket's always been
So,
there. My question is that when did you really start developing that real interest? Watching the games, the World Cup, and now most recently, from the past 5-10 years, the IPL as well. And who was your idol? Who made you fall love? Who made you really enjoy this game and made you feel like I want to be like this man. I want to do something in this field.
uh, as you said, every Indian household में that cricket pagalpanti is there, and I guess I started my first memory of cricket is, I guess that is common in all of us. It is Dhoni finishing it off in style, and
Yeah.
India winning the World Cup after 28 years. That was, and then
Oh, yes, sir.
yeah, and then I guess I remember I used to play with a plastic bat with my father. He used to throw the ball, I would play with it, and then gully cricket is always there among Indians. But then
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that main thing I felt, let's try out cricket in a professional way. Then when I was 12, I started playing academy, and then again all the hard work and everything has brought me where I am. But again, to be honest, it's not like I only like cricket. I like playing every sport, but then again I felt cricket was something which is something different for me. Like I had that another love for cricket, so I just went for it. But it's not like I don't play any other sports. I'm mid in table
I know,
tennis,
absolutely.
basketball, and all that. But then cricket is something else
Oh,
for me.
that's great.
So we wanted to know, so from when you first started going to your academy and then taking cricket seriously, since then, has there been a major transformation in your lifestyle and nutrition?
To be honest, when I started, I guess I was the same fat Sukrit. But then again, after COVID, I felt, you know, uh, I tried to follow my idol, Virat Kohli. So, I
Wow.
saw many videos about fitness, diet, and everything. And I felt if I want to bring my game to a good level, I guess the fitness is also important. Yes, skill is there, but at the same time, if you have good fitness, that is also going to help you to play better. Yeah. And then again, that was the physical aspect. I felt, I did many researches about the proper exercises and everything. That was the transformation from the physical wise. And then again, as I said, from after the under 16 ACC tour, after that, there was a transformation in my mental skills. I guess that was also something which has changed me a lot because, yeah, as I said before, mental skill is more important than the physical skill. So, yeah, these are two important things which have brought about a transformation in me, and that also helps me a bit in other life skills also.
Absolutely, because from the past 7 years I've known when we first just met and up until when you were uh, 10, 11, if I look at a picture of you then and now, I think even because there has been a major change in your physique, and which is really really commendable, because I wish I could do something like that you know so it's really great.
I mean, if you have to play a sport, it is important to bring about that physical transformation. You cannot end up being a fatty person or slightly overweight to end up playing any sport. That's it is difficult. People can, but again, it is going to be difficult for you.
Oh yes, that's completely true. You would need sacrifice to make it big in like almost any sphere of life, and especially well said by you as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do good in any field, I guess that is the most important thing, sacrificing things. Maybe, yeah, people have the temptation, let's open social media for a while, what's going to happen? But then again, if you want to balance the extracurricular activities and your studies, it is important to, realize the fact that let's do what is more important right now. As I said, prioritizing the task, because again, if you need to do well, you need to sacrifice the things which is going to make you happy for a short term, and rather focus on the things which will make you happy on a long term basis.
Absolutely. Uh, well, another question our follower asked us was that how has the Qatar Association Inter School Tournament, the SOP tournament which has been going on, how well has it been going? And from what I saw, okay, and obviously everyone was talking about this as well. Your performance, you know 300s, and before the finals your lowest score was 48. Like, wow. Okay, it was really good, but we wanted to hear from you in person. Was how would you describe your performance? Any points to be taken?
Uh, First of all, I guess the credit has to go to the team, because it is not just, cricket is not an individual sport, which, yeah, people do believe that cricket can be an individual sport. But I guess I strongly disagree to the fact, because you cannot expect to win a game with, one guy or two guy carrying the team. You need the support of all 11 players plus the people who are substitutes.
Yeah.
I guess it is a good initiative, because this SOP is not only going to teach us who regularly play leather ball cricket, but it is also an experience for people who barely get to play the leather ball cricket and they play gully cricket. Now, coming to my uh, personal records or stats, I guess before the tournament I came with the intention that I have to dominate this tournament. I guess the inter school was probably one of the best areas where I could show what I am capable of. And I still remember, like, before the tournament my highest score was 47 not out, and I didn't have a 50. So I used to keep thinking how
Oh,
it feels to make a 100 or a 50. Then the first match of inter school, luckily I got a 100. I
wow.
guess that was a true picture, or maybe that showed the people what I am capable of. And then again, it was continuing the performance. It is not like 100 has come, that's it, I'm done. It's not gonna work like that. There is a quote of Sachin Tendulkar which I follow a lot. He states that once a match is done, there is no point of thinking about the previous or the match which you have played. Rather, you should think about the upcoming matches, how you're going to do better. Like, even if you make 100, you should be thinking, how are you going to make more than 100? I guess, yeah. So, this was something which was quite good tournament for me. We still have under 16 tournament left. Uh, I hope I
Yeah.
can do something good as a captain over there.
Well, best of luck on that. Moving on to our next question. I think most of our listeners here would be wondering any words for young aspiring cricketers or people looking to make it big in sports in general.
Uh, as I've said, you know, we should not take sports as a burden. It should be, sports should be something which you should enjoy. Like, even though I
Very
am
well.
playing at a level, it is about enjoying playing cricket. Yeah, you'll have bad times or maybe even one or two bad practices. But again, you need, bad practices come for a reason. They're meant to teach you something, or yeah. But then again, it is about, you know, the commitment, your dedication, and the sacrifices you make. Because if you don't have that dedication, commitment, and the perseverance, I guess it is difficult to make. Because again, you need to have the patience of going continuously. Everything does not happen in one night. It's, the overnight hard work which you do which brings you the success. So it is important to, continuously keep going. Like, as I talk to myself, I still think it took me 5 years to score these many runs and have a good season. So again, you need to be disciplined, which is obviously another essential thing. So I guess if a person is disciplined and committed and has that deep fiery passion, they can do anything in this world.
So, guys, welcome to the ethical segment of the Insight podcast. So, because we have a cricket player here, we'll ask a few ethical cricket questions to him. So, the first question is in team sports like cricket, especially. For example, you're the captain and you discover that a teammate is involved in like some unethical conduct or like ball tampering. What would you do in that scenario? Would you report it or would you just let it slide?
I guess it is, it is, we play a sport not for cheating. We play it to have an equal game, to have a proper game. And I guess there's no point of, calling yourself a cricketer when you follow the unethical methods. I guess that's not how it works. So, yeah, as you said, the situation, I guess in that situation, it is important to report the umpire.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it is called the gentleman's game for a reason.
Yeah.
Sukrit, our next question is it's not directly related to cricket. It's a more of a generalized question. Is that if a friend commits a serious crime like fraud or theft, should you report them to the authorities, or does the loyalty, towards your friend take precedence over the obligation to uphold the law?
It again depends from situation to situation, and it also depends on the friend who is stealing. But again, the main important thing is, I guess, the crime which is being occurred. If it's something which is very serious and which you feel is not according to the law, and it's a very severe crime, it is important to report. You cannot, yeah, I accept the fact that it can be a friend, but again, you cannot keep anything like that. It's important to follow the law, and yeah, friendship is there, but again, a good ethic is also as important as a friend.
Oh wow! But like, imagine if Ishan was the friend that did this serious crime, and like,
Oh
for
wow.
example, he like stole it. He like stole something from someone, yeah, and like that person is like looking for it, and in that scenario, you see that someone else is convicted for that crime. Would you go and report Ishan?
Please don't, Sukrit. Thank you.
I mean, if it's something minor, obviously I won't. But again, if it's something very serious or a murder case, I have to. I'm
Oh
sorry,
damn, Ishan man. So
भाई
for
7 साल
the
की
last
दोस्ती
question.
किसके लिए भाई, किसके लिए?
So for the last question of our podcast, for example, just keep the scenario. It's a close cricket match. You're the fielding team, and you know that the batsman is not out, but the umpire gives a wrong decision. Would you uphold the spirit of the game and recall the batsman?
Uh, I guess it again, as I said, depends on situation. If I don't think so, there are much situations that the umpire gives a wrong call, because right now the technology is so advanced. Uh, you know, Barely there are any mistakes.
Oh yeah, that's
But
true.
again,
But
if
like,
there is
imagine
something
it's
like,
in one of your matches.
sorry.
Where you're the captain, suppose, if
Imagine
where
you're the captain, and it's like in one of your matches. So not much technology is used in like, for For example, you see inter-school
Oh.
matches or
Uh,
any other matches in the district level.
Academy matches, yeah.
yeah. So, like for example, if it's an LBW or a caught wicket keeper thing, I guess at that point you cannot do anything. There have been situations where it is an out, but the umpire does not say anything. Again, it depends on the umpire, and you cannot argue with the umpire because he's the final decision maker of the game. But
Makes sense.
if there is something like a fielder takes a catch, but the fielder says it is not out or something, and the umpire says it is out, I guess at that point it is better to say the field, that it is not out, because again we need to follow the ethnic conduct also and play it fairly. So yeah.
So, Sukrit, we would like to thank you a lot for being the first guest on the Insight podcast.
I should be the one grateful for calling me.
Now, it's a great,
Oh,
it's like a
please.
pleasure from our side as well. You know, having one of our close friends as the first guest. I mean, that's actually an honor. Okay.
And Sukrit, you've been like an inspiration to a lot of people in our school, and I feel a lot of kids are actually going to get inspired from your words on the podcast, and like try to inculcate some of the values you said in their life from what you've said.
Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I guess I've never spoken publicly in this way. So, once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
You're welcome. So, I hope all our listeners enjoyed the first episode of the Insight podcast. Follow all our socials, which are in the description. We are an entity of the student led nonprofit here in Qatar, Straightforward Insight. Signing off for now, me and Ishan. Peace.
Peace.
Done.